Everyone who has millions started from zero, from this to that, from nothing to everything. As a divine healer, let me show you the blueprint to heal your deepest wounds, step into your destiny, and become the happiest person you know. My name is Steph Mahony, and welcome to your Million Dollar Life podcast. Do you ever feel like you're comparing your life to somebody else's polished, edited Instagram reel? Do you ever look at your life and wonder, why can't I have more, be more, do more? I'm trying my best with everything I can, with everything that I have, but I'm just not happy. I feel so unfulfilled. But yet you show the world a happy face. You're smiling, showing your best self, your best edited Instagram reel. But you go to bed broken and angry and frustrated inside. Hi, everyone. My name is Steph Mahony. I am a divine channel healer and the founder of Your Million Dollar Life, a life that has nothing to do with money and everything to do with feeling like $1 million. It is the beauty that shines from within you when you're healed, transformed, and step into your higher purpose. Today, we're going to talk about this void of happiness, of how this shows up in our life, what we can do to flip it and begin to rewrite a new future where we do feel happy, fulfilled, and living our own best life. So I want to start off by sharing a story. The story is about my little daughter named Aspen. Aspen has this personality that's bigger than life. She's the girl who learned how to sing before she could talk, run before she could walk, and she just creates her own stage wherever there is not one. As a little girl, I saw this seed of greatness in her, and her life, her energy, her soul was bigger and better and just so bright than anything I have witnessed before. And my little girl was a cute little girl. And like all moms, I would, get her ready for the day. I would put her in cute little dresses and earrings and put her hair up and make her all polished. And yet the moment I turned the corner, she would run away and take it all off. She would rip out her ponytail. She'd try ripping out her earrings. She took off her clothes and went into her drawers and mismatched them, and it would come out beaming, so happy. And I was like, Aspen, what are you doing, honey? And she's like, Mommy, it just looks so beautiful. And I would laugh and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like if you think you're beautiful, I think you're beautiful. Like, let's go. But I just never understood, And this happened at such an early age, like maybe I'd say like age 3, age 2 as well, but she couldn't really communicate then. But age 3, I really saw it. And age 4 is when I noticed and I realized the aha moment of who she truly was. It was her 4th birthday party. It was in this time of COVID. And in between lockdowns, I was able to prepare her a princess party. She was in the thick of her Frozen era. So of course she wanted to look like Elsa with this long wig, this beautiful glittery gown, some lip gloss. And I just made her best self, and she was so happy. So the moment came when everybody arrived and she opened the door, and there, standing before her, were 10 other Elsas, also beautiful, also with lovely gowns and wigs and smiles. And she looked at them and she got so upset. She turned away and she ran right upstairs. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And she came back down with her hair messy, her wig was off. She took off her gown and she put on her mismatched clothes and she skipped over with the brightest smile. And she's like, I'm ready. And I looked at her and I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. My daughter doesn't have this desire to be sloppy and, defiant. It's just that she doesn't want to blend in with anybody else. She is so authentic and strong in her own identity of who she truly is. And her living her best life is representing that, being different from everybody else, standing rightly in front of a dark crowd, let's say, regardless of how she looks like. But for her, she feels so aligned and beautiful and perfect for really who she's been chosen to be. And it all made sense. And I realized that, before every time I would ask her to change, I was dimming a part of her own light. But when I accepted and understood who she really was and what she was trying to do, and I allowed her to just be her, she would sing louder, skip faster, and tell funnier stories. She truly embodied who it is that she's meant to be in this world. So that authentic happiness is what is in alignment to your $1 million life. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody, but it's the feeling of inner joy when your inner smile shines brighter than your outer smile. That is what authentic happiness is. And most of the world, even including myself, in a way, right? I don't feel comfortable going into the world, mismatched clothes and messy hair. And, I do have this string of I want to put together my best self. But for me, that's what happiness is. It makes me feel really good. And I think that happiness really looks so different for all of us. And there's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's not like you have to go into the world like my daughter, looking like a mess sometimes to be authentic, but it's really living your inner truth. Because when you can be aligned to your inner truth and speak your inner truth and live your inner truth on a moment by moment basis, that is where we bloom and grow and can activate our highest potential. That's where we feel so happy and fulfilled. So, what I want to talk to us today is about getting to this place, because we live in this sad society with happy smiles. There's this world of toxic positivity where we all pretend to be happy, perceived to be happy, but genuinely inside, everyone is struggling with mental health. They're feeling broken. They're crying in the shower. They're comparing their life to somebody else's Instagram reel and wondering what they are doing wrong and how they could be working so hard but still not have enough. They just don't feel worthy. So I wanted to share a concept with you through A Course in Miracles. For those of you who don't know what A Course in Miracles is, it's this incredible text that brings you on a journey, transformation from fear back into love. And it's really just showing us how we live in this world of illusion and how to get back into alignment of living real, higher truth. So in the Course in Miracles, it talks about this concept of a picture and a frame. So if you can imagine a picture and a frame, the picture itself is you. It's your inner self. That is your alignment of who you truly are and who you've charted to be in this world. It holds your gifts, your talents. It showcases your strengths. It shows you what happened. It's what you feel when you're in alignment and doing what you've charted to do. It's the part of you when you close your eyes and everyone goes home. It's the part of you that still remains yourself. The frame, however, if you can imagine, a big glittery frame is what we show to the world. We show the world this thick, glittery frame, and we believe we need more glitter, more gold, more sparkles in order to fit in, to be valuable, to show that we are worthy of love and attention. And the more we focus on this outer part of ourselves, of what we show to the world, the more our inner soul shrinks. And the more we actually start chasing the other side, is the more we actually lose our soul. So I want to talk about this because it really is a very fast fix if you can understand the concept. Because when you can start to shift and change your focus on everything you show to the world and get back into alignment to yourself, then you can start making choices that actually genuinely make you happy and not what is perceived to be accepted and adored and loved by society. So, I'll share a little bit of a story about myself as well, and how at an earlier age, I thankfully learned this concept without understanding anything about a picture and a frame. But I really hope that you can see the key messages and apply this into your life too. Because when we're in this pathway of looking for happiness and peace and alignment, sometimes it requires us to make hard choices. Sometimes we have to hit rock bottoms in order to really see and perceive what it is we don't want in our life, to value what is important and what we do want in our life. And that's why we have to go through things and see the lesson. But you always know you're healed and that you've acquired the wisdom when you can look back and talk about it and see how it was a major turning point in your life. See how it helped you to become better and not bitter, how it helped you to correct errors, to heal your mind, to push forward with love instead of reacting like a green scary monster. So, to share the story about myself, in my early 20s, the beginning of my career, I've always been super, super ambitious. I had God-sized dreams. And when you follow your North Star and you follow what's exciting, sometimes mostly your dreams are revealed dream behind a dream behind a dream, because many times we have to go through things and acquire skill and acquire wisdom to get to that next level up. So I had these God-sized dreams when I was younger. I wanted to do something big and I just wanted to do something impactful. And I worked at a financial institution, and my dream was to be this corporate executive and have this corner side office with windows and a chair. And I wanted to have a secretary that worked for me. And, I remember my girlfriend telling me that, in New York City, they had black limos that would drive them around and bring them back up. I'm like, okay, I'd like that too. Like, I just wanted it all. I just wanted to feel important. And I wanted to have an important job. And I wanted to climb the ranks of this financial institution so I can be a senior vice president and have my corner office. Like, to me at that time, that was my glittery frame. And it was also, I would say, my inner picture, because I genuinely wanted that. Like, I really thought that that's what was going to make me happy. So I started in this position as an entry-level manager in this place. And I thought that this was the greatest thing. I was like, yes, I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to acquire all of these skills. This is going to be amazing. This is my dream come true. This is the beginning of this huge mountain. Like, I was all in. And then I learned at this particular side of this financial institution, it was very different. I've never been in management before, and I came with this happy-go-lucky personality. And what I was learning behind the scenes in this particular place, from my experience only, not to say that this is how it is everywhere, but in my experience, I saw a different side of management where all of these senior executives that I aspired to one day be had two very different faces, one that they showed their team and one that they showed themselves. When the doors were closed, they started making fun of these people. They started throwing people under the bus. They started doing these really sneaky things to try to fire people. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? This is not what I thought it would be. And inside, I was immediately alerted. I felt really spiky energy inside of me. Like, this was not in alignment. I didn't feel good. I had to be there. I signed up for it. I just started, but I was not liking any of it. And I remember just staying this place and hearing them, and then all of a sudden, them having me having to do their dirty work and do these things, and they would laugh and yet show so much compassion in front of people. And I was like, oh my goodness, like what is happening? Like what is this? Like what's happening? And I was so distraught about this. It was not me. I was not in alignment, but yet I had to show up every day and I had to push through and I had to keep showing my best because I was now I was now in this position, what I've been praying for, and I had people now reporting to me. So I had to show up for them. And I was like, I can't control anything other than what I can do. So I was doing my best with what I had, with what I knew. But after a period of time and being here, I'm like, this is just not right. I really don't have the desire. I wanted to work in downtown Toronto and live this lavish lifestyle, very posh, very upscale, have this upscale job. And it really showed me that I'm like, actually, I'm not in alignment to any of this. I thought that this is what I wanted, but all I really want is to be happy. I want flexibility. I want to be close to home. One day, if I have a family, like I want to be there so that I could show up to soccer games for my children and be present during dinner. And I don't want to carry the stress and the weight and the anxiety of all of this politics that I never even knew existed. So it showed me, what it looked like to have a glittery frame, because on the outside world, I was very successful. I was having this high-end job. I was very sparkly to the world. Everyone was very envious and very interested in what I was doing and how I was doing it and how I can manage it all. But inside, I was crumbling. I was so upset. I was not in alignment. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody about it. And I really had to make a decision. Was I going to keep doing something that was stealing my soul and sucking the soul out of me, all of my spark, all of my happiness, all of my will to thrive and move forward? Or was I going to just shift and rewrite my story and decide that it doesn't make me less worthy if I don't want this? Maybe I'm just as worthy if I choose to have something else. Maybe I'm not in management. Maybe I'm an individual contributor, but I can be as equally successful. And I had to really start to play with that in my mind, because for so long I thought that real success was climbing the corporate ladder. Real success was, how many dollars you had and what level you're at and what side of the office you were, what part of the financial institution you worked for. Like I really thought that all of this glittery stuff was what would make me happy. And when I finally experienced it, it was so out of alignment. So I needed to decide what I was going to do. And that's when life and destiny come to you in the form of choices. Was I going to continue on this path and allow it to suck my soul? Or was I going to shift and flip my life and choose a different direction? If I went this other direction, but I felt like a failure and I kept talking about how I was a failure, it would really quickly downward spiral me and probably just have me quit altogether. But I decided at this place of empowerment that I was really grateful for the decision that I took this role so early on. And the reason I decided I chose to focus on me taking this position was because I always wanted it. And if I received this position at a later part of my life when I already had family and I was, in this place of higher responsibility in my personal life, that would really throw me off board. And perhaps I would have made a irrational decision based on high amount of stress that I would be in at that time. So I chose to look at it with the glass half full. And I was like, you know what? This wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I'm so grateful I experienced it now. before we started our family, because now I know that this is something I actually don't desire. What I truly desire and what I value, what makes my heart happy and soar, is to actually have freedom and flexibility and to shine in front of clients rather than staff members. I realized that my strength was in front of people versus behind boardrooms. And I started to look at that as equal. It's just that I prefer this place instead of this place. And when I really could receive that in my subconscious mind, everything became okay. I felt at peace. Then I shifted my mindset and rewired my mindset to what I did actually desire, which were these qualities of what my life would feel like. And when you do that, then opportunities come to you in that vibration, in that alignment. So, wouldn't you know, I ended up having a job come to me, magnetized to me that I didn't even search for. That was a double promotion that was local to me and close to home. One that I had this incredible management team that was full of integrity and loving and supportive. I had, this district of people who respected me, and we all just wanted to do good for each other. And I was finally back in my element, of wanting to do good and being surrounded by people who wanted to do good. And I was thriving as a result. I ended up winning awards. I was living my best life, and I was truly authentic to who I was. And as a result of my picture being full and authentic, the frame, the glittery part that I showed myself to the world as was shining just as brightly. But it was that it wasn't authentic. It wasn't that I didn't have any jewels. I sure did because I was living my best life, but it was the inner beauty that shined from within me. And that's what made me happy. So it was less about how many check marks of like how cool I thought my job was. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my job's amazing. These are all of the things that I love and I enjoy. And like, I have like the flexibility and I get to do this and I get to do this versus how I looked to the outside world. So when we can stop doing things for what the world wants and doing things for what we want, we're actually going to reclaim our happiness. So another example a lot of people go through is relationships. We're either so scared to be alone that we are in a relationship that causes us to be broken, unhappy, but yet it's comfortable and we stay there because we're scared of being alone. That would be another place where the frame is too big and it's outweighing the picture. To flip that is reclaiming your worth and be like, no, I deserve happiness. I shouldn't be in a place that makes me feel small, unheard, unhappy. I'm rather be by myself and attract a person who loves me just as I am. And that would then grow the picture and shrink that frame. Another place regarding relationships is sometimes people are in these relationships where it's more about status, about money, about power, about being a power couple. And they choose to be in these places, kind of like a contract negotiated agreement where that's what they want. But inside, after, social media comes down and after their Instagram reels are posted, they don't even talk to each other. They go to bed and they're like roommates. There's no love. There's no genuine happiness. And that's what causes then people to look for happiness in outside places, which is where extramarital affairs come in and drifting and hanging out with the guys too much longer and these types of things, right? So when we can seed our choices on things that are authentic to who you truly are, who I truly am, regardless of what the outside world thinks, then we are going to beam a very special light. And that light is what's going to attract that which we desire to our life. to fulfillment. So if you're in a place that you are not feeling genuinely happy and fulfilled, I want you to really take a look at your life and put it to the focus of what your life looks like as a picture and as a frame. Are you focused too much on the frame? Are you focused so much on the outside world of more money, more power, more prestige, more recognition, more Facebook likes, more? Or are you looking to make choices that authentically make you happy, regardless if your phone is streaming live, regardless if you're going to be posting this or not? Like when you are by yourself and the world goes away, how do you actually feel? Because how you genuinely feel is your emotion. And that emotion is who you truly are. And with the law of attraction, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you truly are. So it's that emotion that's going to come back to you. So if you are broken and sad and depressed, even though you show a happy smile, it's that brokenness that's going to be attracted back to you. If you're genuinely happy and fulfilled and full of love and peace, it's that emotion that will be attracted back to you. And it's going to repattern itself in new people, new circumstances, but you're going to continue to stay at that elevated place for longer. The more you focus on what you want, is the longer your periods of time you're going to be in there. So if you don't like what you're experiencing, you have the power as a creator of your universe to flip the story by rewriting it. Look at all situations from a place of empowerment, just like I had to regarding my job. We're never victims of the world we see. We are the creators of it. So find gratitude. Like, hey, you know what? I'm so glad I went through this experience now because I got out of the way. Now I know what I actually truly want. And now I'm going to choose better. All endings are new beginnings, and all new beginnings are chances to be happy again. So as the power of, or as the creator of your own universe, this is where we have the power to rewrite our story, to turn our pain into purpose, to turn our mess into a message, to turn our test into a testimony, and to take these endings and to create them into new beginnings. And when we can hold this light and see that every experience is light, no matter how dark it seems at that time, we can take this light and elevate and grow and simply choose again. And it all begins with our mind. What are we focusing on? Whatever we focus on grows. So when we can look at our inside self, know that our outside self is going to be even more beautiful. And having glittery things is okay. I want to make this clear. I love actually glittery things. I love nice cars. I love my home, which is our dream home. I love luxury vacations. I love eating at 5-star restaurants. I mean, although I really, really love small mom and pop shops. But it's okay to love all that other stuff as long as you don't lose yourself in the process, as long as you're not compromising who you truly are to acquire this other stuff. So when you're authentic in all the choices that you're making, you're genuinely happy and fulfilled and living this life that brings you joy and excitement, that is when you're in alignment to living your $1 million life. And that's going to look so different for all of us because we all have different forms of happiness. And I am so grateful and happy to be where I'm today, having gone through these experiences, because it's molded me, shaped me, and given me a story now to help share with other people who might be going through the same. So if this is something that you're interested in, I'm going to drop a link for a new ebook that I wrote, and it's called Stop Chasing, Begin Attracting. And this is to show you the step-by-step formula of how to build wealth, happiness, success in your own life by rewriting, reframing, and beginning to attract the energy of what's going to transform and up-level you into the next charted destiny of your future. So please take a look at the link below. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, send me an emoji if this is something that resonated with you. And until then, namaste. May the light within me honor the light within you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you are ready to heal your deepest wounds and manifest your greatest life, I welcome you to explore the blueprint to your $1 million life, a divinely channeled program that is creating miracles for people all over the world. Visit www.stephmahony.com.